Hello and welcome back to the eLeague Road to Vegas here. If you didn't join us here for Europe, we'll just run through everything again. First and foremost, I'm joined today by Dan. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm great.
Still hanging in there.
How are you?
I'm great. I mean, I was expecting a yes or no, but there we go. vENdetta, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we're joined by Halvor, also known as vENdetta over here. And then to my left at the end, we are joined by our analyst for the week, who is going to be Janko, also known as YNK. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, man. Looking forward to the NA games. They're always a lot of fun. Good Counter-Strike plays right there.
Okay, so we're going to have two matches for you this evening. One is going to be CLG versus Splyce, followed up by Cloud9 versus Enemy. So the first match is CLG versus Splyce coming up very shortly. But we can have a quick look at the format of the tournament so you can see exactly how this is going to happen. Again, this is a road to Las Vegas. You can see there are 8 teams in Europe, 8 teams in North America. Best of 3s all the way. 1 team from Europe and 1 team from the USA will qualify to go to Las Vegas in January to have a face-off against each other. We can look at, we know what the schedule is today, so we can see what the vetoes were for today, see what the picks and bans were. We know the maps already, but we can see how things went. So you can see that the Cobblestone was the pick of CLG. Mirage is the first map, however, which is the pick of Splyce. And then the decider map will be Dust 2. Any opinions on these?
Well, they basically, CLG FNS just left the team, so they're going to be playing with Pita, who's their coach. I don't think he's played a lot of CSGO in general, especially in lately. So considering these maps, these teams actually played each other, I think 3 times from September, and 2 out of 3 times the Splyce team actually beat CLG, and both times they beat them, it was on Dust 2 and Mirage, and we have both of those maps in the pool. So, you know, I would actually maybe even put Splyce here as the favorites.
Okay, so we should just confirm that's Pita, who used to be the coach for NIP, as opposed to PTR. But anyway, we are into the pistol here. So CLG starting on the T side, Splyce starting on the CT side. You can see that Splyce have gone for the 1 defuse kit and 4 Kevlar. Splyce were also previously known as Follow Esports, but now they have a big Cobra. They've gone G.I. Joe style.
Yeah, we got the push coming in. Any second into this A-bomb side, and Peter's in a good position actually. It's a good opener, but they know where he is. They're looking for the frags, but they're having to peek wide to try to take him down. And look at how much damage Splyce are getting done because of that. This is looking quite good indeed for Splyce so far on the defense. Just Pita and Tarik left. So you would expect Splyce to be able to set up quite well around this. The bomb needs to go down still, but there's just no space to plant it. Everything is covered by the CTs pretty much as they start to push in numbers back in onto these players. But can these headshots be connected by T-side? Looks like they will not be. So CLG losing at the pistol round. Pretty standard stuff, but you got to hand it to Pita there. Did a lot with a pretty awkward position.
I feel like there's going to be some sort of confusion between Pita and Peter.
Yeah, that's
at a certain point.
Especially because we're British.
Yeah,
so we don't have R. Should we go Peter?
Peter.
I'm not saying that. That's not happening. Sorry.
That's Peter with the AWP.
Well, CLG are moving up into mid with 4 players trying to play safety numbers. P250 on hazed is going to try and get some damage in, but Splyce Pita is not taking much. He's there with the scout. I think we can say like C Pita for CLG Pita maybe.
I don't know. It's
that works for me. C Pita is nice and fast. Well, we've got to tag through the smoke onto hazed. I think he may have got legged there by that scout, or even hit the chest, who knows, as he does have Kevlar. So the T's are moving over towards the area via short. They're going for the engagement, trying to take down the player in ladder room, and it's going to cost them a lot of their workforce. And now the question is, how do they move onto the site? The bomb's basically stuck in ladder room at this point.
It almost looked like they had a really nice approach, actually. The initial push-up short looked pretty clean, actually, but it didn't really turn into anything too amazing in the end. And the jump from short over the top, aKis will find the frag. And Cutler's position's been given away as well, so pretty simple stuff. It was a little bit scary from CLG for a while. Again, got to re-emphasize that it feels like they got up short very easily, but they couldn't convert in the end. So it was well defended by Splyce in ladder room after all.
I have a question, Halvor.
Yeah.
Like, you saw 3 guys get wrecked in ladder room there.
Yeah.
And like, my question is, the priority in that situation is to try and get a bomb plant.
Yeah, so why do you bog yourself with the guy in ladder room?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think maybe it might be... There's a fair chance of them just running or jumping past.
Yeah, well, definitely, especially with how passively rooRoooo was playing in that situation as well. You could definitely make a case for actually just running past him and going for Slemmy, who's the sole holder of that B bomb side. I think the mentality that pops into your head once you get into those situations is that the first guy is obviously going to check it out so you don't get caught off guard. And when he's able to do some damage on it, the second guy behind him is thinking, well, he might be low enough for me to get a quick kill.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get that push on.
The trades, right?
And when he goes down as well, the third guy is thinking, well, now he's definitely low.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an easy pick. But it's a tough situation. I think you have to have that predetermined for your entire team that you're just going to ignore everything and just go for the bomb site instantly if that's what you want to.
Yeah, I think in fairness, you can't really criticize them for doing like you play for trades, right?
It's just a natural instinct, I think.
Yeah, but maybe if they had like a play around the corner with P250 and the rest of them tried to burst onto the site, then another option. Anyway.
Probably would have gotten more out of it.
So CLG still with 0 on the board. This is going to be their last eco. 3 Glocks and 2 P250s. I always wonder how developed plans are in these kind of situations. Because you can see they're just looking for a pick in mid at the moment, but Splyce have the advantage of the range game of the rifles, and they will use them to their advantage. aKis needs to be careful now. Got to let his teammates do the work, and indeed they will. No one going down for Splyce. So simple round for them. Pita will be going straight for the AWP, of course.
I'm actually curious as to who's calling for CLG at this point, because Pita is obviously coming in as a coach, so he would have, I'm assuming, a fair share of say in what's being done technically.
If I'm not mistaken, the leadership was transferred from FNS to
Cutler. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if that's going to change with Pita, seeing how they had a coach who's probably helping them out strategically.
He might be doing mid-run calls or something like that, you know, contributing here or there.
Anyway, we do have the push coming into mid, just a basic control play. And on the other side of things, by Palace on A, Stewie's able to pick up a pretty aggressive kill. So Splyce are trying to take some moves here across all of the map whilst they feel the presence of CLG occupy middle. And so far, it's worked out quite well. They are one man to the good, currently speaking, and they are going to just readjust their setup so they play more defensively across the width of the map, which is a smart way to approach the situation. And CLG are making the move up short now towards the B-bomb site. So if Splyce can just get some information to this play, then that would be fantastic. But again, being so passive, that's what you give up, is any information. And here it comes.
They have rotated one guy over instead of holding mid.
Well, 2 versus 3 now, and the rotation is going to be a very long one for Splyce. It starts now as Slemmy goes down, leaving rooRoooo on the site on his zone. I don't know what hazed was doing, like a 180 no-scope there. Manages to work out for him, so man advantage CLG, bomb plant as well. Splyce, do they go for this? Maybe if they get a fast pick, but if not, then maybe a save is in order. We'll see what their decision making is. The sponsor player can't get the frag though. He has another player looking, JDM just creeping the corner. Pita is going to trade him, but he is... Looks like he's going to make his exit, or... Wait a minute.
Yeah, he can't go for this.
He's got a kit. He's got a kit.
No, James. Just no.
Yeah.
Just no.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
I almost did like a... Actually, never mind. There's still some engagement to be had here. Is Pita going to go for it? No, he's going to make his exit.
It's like you're embodying your inner NA player.
I almost got a 1v4 Ninja Defuse on Inferno the other day. It was amazing.
While you were in NA?
Not while I was in NA.
Playing for the
Although
Twitch
I did play some matchmaking there, and it was an interesting experience.
That's a nice way of putting it.
CLG and Splyce both going to be on the bye now. CLG getting their first round on the board. And it seems CLG are dedicated to an A push here. We'll see what role JDM plays. He is in mid. Is he going to be a lurker? Is he going to try and kill the rotators? Or and you have to wonder where the bomb's going to be planted based on that as well.
And it looks like the play could be quite fast relatively soon here, as CLG look pretty committed into the A play. And as the nades get set up, as they don their battle regalia and start to chant the war cries, CLG are going to be making their way into the site, but they are holding their role, perhaps waiting for JDM to be able to get something going in middle to maybe draw some attention away, but it is going to be Pita instead towards Palace. He's going to drop Pita, and it's going to be CLG moving in. They have no other choice, but so far it's going pretty okay for them. 3 versus 3, but the bomb still needs to go down.
The CTs are stuck around connector, which has been smoked off for the time being. They've got nobody in CT just yet, but the rotation is coming in from one of their players. That's Slemmy moving his way, making his way towards CT. The bad thing for the T's is they've gone for the default plant, which is harder to deal with than the plant for triple. So we'll see what they can do here. Cutler coming out at the right time to take down Slemmy. Now Tarik's going to pop out, so very nicely done so far by CLG. aKis to take down Tarik, but he's running out of time. Has got no smoke for any shenanigans. Down goes hazed as well, but Cutler's in position to trade. And CLG, in an expensive round, will get their seconds in a row.
I'm very curious as to how rooRoooo did not manage to pick up JDM, because JDM walked in towards connector with his back turned, and I'm assuming rooRoooo was actually watching that angle.
I think he
given his
was
position.
in. I think he was in ladder room. So
Like,
he would
yeah,
only see.
no, he was there. He was dropped down there, so he
Ah.
definitely should have seen it.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure. He might have just given the information to aKis or something, but I definitely should have. He should have gotten that pick and let aKis focus on actually helping out Peter and the rest of the guys on A.
Well, Splyce are running out of players to do something significant with. There is a player in T spawn who I presume is waiting for rotation. Indeed, rotation comes in, and the waiting player gets the frag. So Slemmy should soon be executed by this Mac 10. Indeed, he is going to make an exit. So pretty much a nothing round for CLG. Splyce going to be back on the buy now. aKis going to pick up the AWP and presumably throw it over to Pita. Indeed, he will. So both teams will be back on the buy. We'll see what kind of spawns they have. JDM has a very good spawn actually heading towards mid. We'll see if Pita can make it there in time. But Cutler's going to throw a delayed smoke, it seems.
Yeah, that actually might mess up with the timing for JDM. Otherwise, JDM probably could have gone out into mid, taken a peek, and after his shot, the smoke's going to go down and he could be safe.
Okay, so it seems they've opted for the more conservative play. So, problem with these smokes is that they often benefit the CTs peeking over, although this one's actually quite low. If it was up on the stairs, then it would be hard to detect the CT in there, and the Ts would have to basically go for a guess spray just in case somebody's there, unless they have the AWP, of course. So, Peter's watching the Palace at the moment. We'll see where JDN is soon. 3 plays in mid for CLG. One question has actually always been in North America how both sides control connector, but it seems that short play is in order here. rooRoooo taking some considerable damage. He is going to try and make a run for it. Peter's going to take him down though. Slemmy is on the site. That flash might give his position away to the players on short, and he's going to get taken down by Cutler. So the B-bomb site's been lost. Peter is scrambling to do something. He's going to take down CLG Peter. And the bomb, in fact, is rotating away from B to an empty A bomb site. But can they get there in time?
Yeah, it's kind of ended up being a situation that was a bit of a disaster because they left the bomb so far back into a situation where actually this is actually going to work out for us. And we've got Cutler there in a brilliant position by the vents. He's going to be able to eliminate aKis. And now it's just Peter left with the AWP. He's found himself in this position previously. Really needs to go for the save, especially considering he has no kit. And yeah, this is just not going to happen for Peter. So he's going to try to save this AWP and keep himself alive. Maybe do some damage if they go and hunt him down. But I don't think CLG's money is too excellent just yet, so they might not want to go for it. But nice shot there.
In the face.
I think Cutler felt that for every fiber of his being. So it's going to be another round here for CLG. They're starting to build some momentum, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to how Splyce, or what the plan Splyce has around playing the mid area. Like, they have an op on Peter. Peter could easily play that middle area by CPL and try to get some map control that way, but in that round we saw pretty much nobody forcing CLG to do anything, waste any nades or anything like that throughout their entire mid presence during that round. So they were allowed free entrance onto Catwalk. For some reason, rooRoooo wants to back off from Catwalk, so you have even less protection, and he gets caught out by it. It does manage to pick up 1 frag, but gets put down to 12 HP. That's when this entire mess happens, where all of CLG, go back to find the bomb and Splyce rotate over towards B. But I don't know. I don't like the fact that Splyce is just giving up mid for free. But here we go. CLG pushing onto the A bomb site.
And so far it's looking a little bit challenging actually for the T side. CLG struggling to get forwards, and Slemmy's going to jump straight over the top through to the Tetris position. He's got a grenade in his hand as well. He's going to go for it as well against 2 players, although Peter's going to thin them out, so just 1. In fact, he's going to do everything by himself. No assistance required for Peter. And he has been one of the most or more remarkable players from the Splyce team that was previously Follow Esports. That was previously, I can't remember what they were previously. I think they had no name for a while, and we called them Back Alley Doctors. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
that was the name I came up with.
Instead of X Elevate, right?
Yeah, that was the one. Exactly. There we go. Look at that memory. I think my name was still better, but anyway, moving on.
Your name was unintentionally controversial.
Ah.
I know you remember the discussion, but we'll leave that one there. So we've got a push from the CTs. We've got some aggression as they try to take back control. Where are they? It's a two-man push through short, and it's working out to a T here. 3 players getting wrecked from CLG. We've only got JDM and Tarik left, and they're out of position. The bomb is still at top mid, so this is really a horrible time for them. JDM takes down aKis, and Tarik may draw some more fire after he takes down JDM. Sorry, takes down rooRoooo. JDM's have been lost. They won't know Splyce where the bomb is just yet, but it's starting to move up to top mid, and if they start to look towards the entrance to B, then they may see it, and now they know what's going on. And this could be the round over for CLG because Tarik has 6 HP.
Yeah, it's it would be running the gauntlet to get that bomb back in his hands, and that's not going to happen, not especially with the time that he's got remaining on the clock.
He's going for it.
He's mad, James. He's quite simply insane.
He's dead, that.
And yeah, he is now dead.
That's what insanity gives you. But I like what Splyce did there. They actually put some pressure on mid. I don't think we need to see that kind of aggression coming out every single round, but at least you had the presence of Pita there. The fact that Slemmy, etc., pushed aggressively on catwalk as well is a pretty nice adaptation from the CT side. Because they can't afford to give too much mid control up off to CLG, because CLG normally has pretty strong executions towards sites, and if you give them too much space, they're just going to dismantle you completely.
Well, CLG, after a good run, are down to P250s and the solitary Deagle, the Desert Eagle, the Magnum on Cutler. Hazed will be the first to fall to Pita. He's going to bounce over towards Palace, but there's nobody in Palace. The remaining CLG team are still in
The slumps.
T-spawn and short. Sorry, top mid. So they've opted to throw a smoke into mid. Now, if they're going for a short play, they could really do with a smoke onto short as well to block the vision through connector. But they're gonna try and boost into CPR instead, and Pita's gonna get taken down.
Yeah, you cannot question the authority of splicing around such as this. rooRoooo is going to make the attempt into window. Is going to be successful as well. Tarik has been snuffed out, and rooRoooo is going to put even more on the board right now. There's 3 in the end for him. That's a pretty nice performance, and 2 players will be lost for Splyce in the end, but that's more than tolerable considering the current situation. CLG have to spend all their cash, and Splyce can, they won't be forced to an eco immediately should they lose a round. But so far it does seem like we're seeing a lot of advantages gained by the way that Pita's been playing the AWP in a lot of these situations. And CLG haven't been able to do a lot with their executes, not as much as they'd like.
And right now, with JDM having to play with a rifle, I think the difference in the type of player and the type of impact you get from JDM when he has an AWP and when he has a rifle is pretty significant. So it's not like CLG's job's going to get any easier at this point. But they're setting up for an A execute here.
Indeed, there's a big flank coming in from rooRoooo, but I don't think it's going to get there fast enough, as CLG will be the ones to give the game away now. And Stewie's going to get sent into another dimension, but the CLG players are still in the choke point, and this may mean that rooRoooo has a bigger impact than once expected. Are there any more counter flashes to try and slow this push down? rooRoooo is trying to creep now. There is somebody close to him, that's JDM. He gets taken down. He's going to announce himself with the AK, but JDM hasn't realized what's going on yet. And there's no kills for rooRoooo. 3 versus 2 now, as JDM gets taken down finally by Pita.
But still, there is more work to be done here for Splyce. They can still save this round, although the grenades are still covering these T players. But in goes Pita straight away. Slemmy can make this happen. This is a one-on-one to deal with now. Cutler's there, trying to shoulder the angle, and he's going to find the advantage. Slemmy goes down. And there you go, we've got the 6-5 scoreline. CLG fighting back, but as mentioned previously, Splyce can still throw in a buy. Actually, it's not as good as I thought it would be. So miscalculated there, but they are going to go for the force anyway, which will feature a 5-7 on aKis. But so, not ideal at all for Splyce.
Especially, like, rooRoooo is the king of questionable decision making right now. He's had like 4 rounds already where he has done very, very questionable stuff. Sometimes it's been working out.
I like how questionable is interchangeable for many other words.
Oh yeah, and definitely as many of those words as you can imagine. And again, gets picked off.
So both the AWPs in play here. We're down to a 4 versus 4. Again, it's CLG who remain in control of mid, but what can they do with that control? And again, I'll just harken back to the connector. And if you look at the top European teams and top NA teams, they play it very, very differently indeed. So CLG moving towards the B app. Slemmy's in an advanced position, actually. Wonder how many kills we can expect him to get from here should the push come in. He is playing a bit of an off angle in the sense that you may expect, so you may look for someone above the chair in this position as opposed to Slemmy's position. So he may get the jump on some of these players. 2 frags for him, finding the third as well, taking the bomb down, and that is the round closed. The door's being closed on the B bomb site and the round by Splyce.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal because CLG, they just won a round. They cannot be good on the money, especially not getting a bomb plant here. What do they actually have right now?
Just about nothing.
Just about nothing. So they...
Hopes and dreams.
Yeah, that they do.
So depending... They might have a little bit left, I guess we're about to see. But if they have the money that I think, we're going to see a bunch of nudists in the next round, James, because there's going to be no Kevlar. This ain't no beach.
It's been a long time to come into a Lido. 2 AWPs on the Splyce team will be taken into the next round, which may be a change in approach from them. I think we're going to see
Lovely
sparks flying, apparently.
fireworks.
Just that.
Fireworks on
Just
display.
that.
10 out of 10 there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And indeed they are naked nudists, James.
So,
Cannot emphasize that enough.
so this round is all about bolstering your economy for Splyce at this point. You have the opportunity to set yourself up well enough to go 5 and 10 here, which would be a respectable half.
Oh dear. Things a spot of bother there for Slemmy as these pistoling players get closer and closer, but he's got some support in route, although Slemmy is not one for this world. Root just spraying them down though. Looking pretty fantastic. Overall, he's got teammates who have now made their way to reinforce the bomb site, and the cavalry will be enough to win the day in the end. So 8-5. Splyce still though, they're climbing in rounds, and we see double up now.
Yeah, double ops.
You had double ups in the last round as well.
Yeah, they're swapping them a bit around. Instead of Slemmy having the op in B apps, it's going to go towards A with Stewie. And I'm okay with that. Potentially hold a aggressive AP and A ult, or just play by the ticket booth like he's doing right now.
Oh, denied is JDM. Oh, I think Pita. I think that was just a pot shot through the smoke, judging by his angle.
Nearly got the second one as well.
So rooRoooo's coming in for support as well, and rooRoooo will be sacrificed to the gods.
I'm not sure if gods are the ones who are good at greet him.
Well, it's a man advantage for Splyce now. As one of their riflers has been lost to this half by from CLG in the second last round of the first half. 2 over towards B, 1 CPL and 1 playing CT side of A. For the CTs, just trying to use as much range as possible. aKis spotted some plays in ladder room, which will be a warning to the players on B. We'll see what Pita, CLG Pita and Tarik can do with this.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying here for Splyce. Looks like Peter's got a read. He's got a beat on the situation as he goes in for the flank. He can get the knife out if he wanted to, but he won't. A simple pistol will be all that's required in this situation.
I'm liking there, 10 out of 10.
Of course you are, James.
Okay, so we finally have an op back on JDM here, and well, there's only 1 round left, so I guess it's better late than never. But they definitely would have liked to have JDM, or stronger economies of JDM could have had more of an impact so far in this game.
I think Splyce left. Oh, is Stewie carrying the AWP somewhere? Happy style? Inspired by the French. So we'll see how he opts to use these. We'll see if Splyce can make it to 10.
Okay, here we go. We have a bit of aggression coming in from rooRoooo up from underpass, and questionable decisions, yes or no. He will spot the bomb, so that's going to result in some key information there for the Splyce side. As Stewie defends the A site, which was going to be likely CLG's plan B, essentially. So in goes JDM. Can he spot anything through the smoke? Oh, Stewie just instantly popping him as he jumps over the toll booth. And now things are looking rather precarious here for the T side. It's just left the Pita now as they've been systematically shaved away one at a time. And there you go. That's going to be that 10-5. And things looking pretty good here for Splyce so far. I think was it Janko or was it you, Halvor, that suggested that you felt like they would actually win the series?
Yeah, the last 2 best-of-3s they've played versus each other, they won both times 2-1. And I think it was the exact same map pool as well. So we had Cobb, Dust 2, Mirage as the 3 maps. Although I would have expected a normal CLG, a usual CLG, obviously thinking back with the ordinary lineup with how they play at events and how they played so close to pretty much every top team in Europe they've played. I would have expected them to get away with the victory, but having to play with their coach instead, and Pita, who's not played CS for a long time, that's obviously going to affect you.
Ooh, look at this though, we got the big push on middle. Might as well have the flight the Valkyries playing at the moment, as they were having quite an amazing procession of Ts moving on towards the well, actually just all the positions around middle, connector, window, and ladder room occupied currently, so they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah, they have a ton of freedom at this point. The question is what they decide to do with this. I would rather see them group up now and try to execute towards one of the bomb sites instead of splitting up and trying to find more pickoffs at this point, because they should know that, or normally, I guess, in a normal circumstances, CLG wouldn't have that many needs, but they actually have 2 more smokes on their team, which is kind of unorthodox, but both of those smokes are towards the bomb site.
So 3 CLG players in CT spawn at the moment. Maybe expecting an A, but it's going to be a B. Nasty surprise coming in the way of Pita. He's going to get instantly traded here by Stewie2k. So the CTs are going to be out of position, and rooRoooo's lurking as well. Going to find a frag onto JDM, so it's going to be a tough push for CLG.
Yep, here goes Tarik, but he's 1 against 4, so this is a pretty awful situation. I can imagine his face is going to be contorted as if he just consumed entire lemon, James. Have you ever tried that?
Have you ever had those giant lemons?
Giant lemons?
No.
Yeah.
I've considered.
Lemons the size of a melon.
They exist?
Yeah, they do.
And they're like natural, not genetically
they're
modified?
natural, yeah. I can't remember the name, but we'll get to that later. My dad gave me one once. He's the man of the world. He used to be in the Navy.
Producer Reese could Google it?
He's busy at the moment. Splyce, you have a 6-round lead. rooRoooo with the solo AK in this round. The rest of the team are going to be going for that moving accuracy with the Tech 9, the Mac 10s, the MP7.
Wait, did they hear that from Tarik?
I think it's possible, but somehow Tarik gets about 50 shots onto aKis before he gets traded by Pita. Splyce Pita is going to get 2, make himself some money heading towards an AWP should he choose to. Again, this is a map where not every team chooses to have an AWP on the T side. 3 CT players left. We'll see if they choose to set up for exits, or if they will try to run into their deaths.
Yeah, it looks like they are tempting fates. Indeed, a bit of the all-in outs as they look to go for a bit of a push before finally retreating. And now it's going to be Splyce surviving with what should be 3 players here. I think rooRoooo is pretty safe in this position, so that's a decent enough result in the end. I mean, usually there is going to be a degree of variance, you know, on these anti-eco rounds. I think Splyce handled it pretty effectively overall, so, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. And the fact that Cutler managed to stay alive at the Mac 10, not really going to do anything. He doesn't have Kevlar, so a Mac 10 with aim punch is pretty useless. You can actually see he just drops it off for Pita and decides to hold on to CZ. And well, it's going to be a pretty cost-efficient round for CLG's part. Not really that much of a message to it. Tarik did pick up a scout, but no Kevlar, sparring the one on Pita, and he got that Mac 10 dropped on him, so very limited investments from them so far.
So Cutler has a HE and a smoke grenade.
Yeah,
No flashbangs though.
He saved both of those, didn't he, from the previous round?
I do not recall.
I
The
think
bomb's just sitting in T-spawn at the moment for the Ts.
Yeah, not really committing. They know they have the weapon advantage right now, so they're probably just looking to find some easy openings before they actually commit to a bomb site. But yeah, as Cadian's pointing out, the bomb's moving towards the B bomb site, and pretty much.
Interestingly though, they had no map control over there whatsoever, and the bomb's leading the way, although it does
Oh
have
yeah,
they're
going in blindly. I don't think there's any solid logic to this, because they haven't spotted out the stack from CLG yet. They just know that there are a couple of players.
Okay, so no engagements just yet, and we'll see. aKis is now leading the charge as he should be with the Mac 10. Stewie's going to get a frag as well, left to 2 HP, so maybe he swaps his AK with aKis if they can find themselves. Actually, Stewie's miles away. So they Splyce found a clean bomb site now, and rooRoooo will start to take a passive position, although he's likely to go down now. He's only got 12 HP, so we might have the CT picking up an AK here. Indeed, hazed will take rooRoooo down, while the rest of the team make it to the B bomb site.
It would be nice for hazed to save that AK, but in the end they would have bought up in the upcoming round anyway. But yeah, obviously needs to save some cash.
there's a better gun than the M4s as well. May make all the difference in the round.
That long distance Mac 10 attempts not going to go too well. Actually, Cutler wins out that battle between
Bonus
the two.
money.
Yeah. So all in all, pretty successful eco round actually from CLG, even though Tarik missed it in a scout, so he's not going to have 4 grenades. Still pretty decent for CLG.
Yeah, it's going to be now a situation where it's almost all or nothing for CLG as they start to get closer and closer to what is the end of days in the first map in this best of 3. And Splyce have decided to potentially make it a very quick ending indeed, as we have the push coming in onto the A side. The set play is about to be launched, but there is a player close, I believe it is hazed, who could be the man to make the difference here. It's very important that hazed picks up a bunch of kills here, but he goes down immediately. Great entry there from aKis, and Cutler's in the bomb side. He's behind the wall of smokes, but it's unclear as to this point and whether or not he's going to pick up any kills from behind there, having been isolated. And it looks like the bomb will go down, and he's still in the position. Cutler's still there, just waiting out the smokes.
But his team are getting cut down around him, so what is he going to be able to do? He gets taken down, and only 2 CLG members remain, and they aren't in great positions. And Tarik's got 2 very quickly, actually, so he's in a 1 versus 2 now. Still time on the clock. He doesn't have a kit, but there might be one on the floor. That Molotov going down on the bomb may just end things for him, and he is going to make a break for it. So Splyce moves to 14 rounds, 2 players surviving. Tarik will save the AWP, but at this point, how many frags can it get before Splyce moves to 16?
Absolutely. And it almost felt as if that was a huge trap there, you know, because Cutler, who was stuck behind the wall of smokes, I mean, obviously Splyce, when they run that strategy, they realize, okay, we're going to leave players that can be on the site in that position. So it's almost as if, you know, they've left, you know, a nice little, you know, trail of cheese for him to be in this certain position, and it's you know, it's a trap.
Yeah, like he's thinking to himself that, oh, I could just sit here forever and I'm going to win the round for us. But that's where good execution comes into play, because Splyce were quick to get down the bomb and actually quick to get out again and actually get into favorable aftermath positions before the smokes ran out. So Cutler never had a really good opportunity to actually kill people. But
well, push here from short. Pita's going to try and hold things down. 2 frags in so far, 1 more to find, but he runs out of HP. 3 versus 3, and the 3 for the CTs are nowhere near the B bomb sites at the moment. Now they're running out of opportunities to go for the saves. Now going for this. Hayes quickly getting over towards the short area. No one to find just yet. Bomb going to send a gun his way, but no indication as to where the players are. Going for the flashbang now off the wall. And a second one can allow his teammates to push in at the same time. Cutler charging in with a Mag 7. Needs those close engagements. So far so good for CLG. 2 for 2. Pita versus 3. That's Splyce Pita. He is in the back, and he is going to get taken down by the Mag 7 as well. So CLG not out of this quite yet.
Not quite yet, but they still have a bit of a mountain to climb here if they want to win this. And all the economy of Splyce looking pretty good still. Should be able to get a pretty decent buy up, and there we go. Peter actually, you know, throwing a couple of AKs around as well, spending a total of 9,500 that round.
So we're having some aggression from CLG actually on the A bomb site. They've got a 2-man push into Palace. We'll see if they choose to leave a man there, or if they're going to make some more noise. We've got Stewie lurking lower, which could suggest an intention of a split by Splyce into A, but the flank is continuing now all the way into T spawn, with Hayes playing close on the other side. Stewie now starting to emerge, starting to ask some questions. So we'll see how things develop over there. JDM being aggressive in B apps as well. So CLG looking for the information. Indeed, Tarik's made it all the way to the other side of T spawn, taking down the bomb. Needs to get that second player. Indeed, he will. But surely he's going to get flanked by Stewie2k. Indeed, he will do exactly that. And it will be down to a 4 versus 3 now for CLG, with quite a significant map control. Although rooRoooo's in connector.
Yeah, but that push was so worth it initially. There from Tarik, those 2 frags, the information, meant everything. So it's pretty good, of course, that Splyce were able to win the frags back. And having forward positions here, rooRoooo by connector and aKis by the short area, is going to give a lot of space, map control for Splyce to understand how to attack this round. They just have to hit the frags here, and does rooRoooo understand what's going on? Looks like he's going to get shot in the side, and Hayes will pick up another one as well. Looks just like it's just Stewie left. He'll take down Hayes, but there's still 2 more players to deal with. He's got 25 seconds to go. Instant plant comes in. Cutler just delaying a little bit just to see if it was a fake, but Stewie, very brave, very bold. He did not fake. Pros don't fake. Here we go. Got Stewie now looking for the engagements. He's going to actually force Cutler out into his crosshair. Can Stewie do it again? Can he get the 4th kill here to save the round for his team? Splyce looking to go on to map point. Oh dear, that's a huge deal right there. JDM needed that one to force him out of position, and Stewie gets it, jumping up over the top of the crate. Brilliant stuff there, what a clutch. 4 kills for him. He's going to be flying high.
That's a manly move.
He is. That round was full of boldness.
Yeah.
Bravery. Balls. Balls of steel.
Full shebang.
Those nades were a bit of a disaster for JDM.
It's not like you practiced it.
Things happen, I suppose. So we've got a 2-man push, a desperation push here from CLG up mid, looking for information. There's going to be a counter flash coming in from the T's. Stewie2k going to slow them down and join his teammates towards the B bomb site, where Tarik is alone with a scout.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have the round of his life if he's gonna stop this.
He's going to need some Neo-tier scouting if he is to survive this for his team. Stewie2k is going to be the first one to get tagged, but the numbers are not in favor of Tarik. He's tagged Slemmy as well. How much more damage can he do? 3 players tagged by Tarik, but no kills just yet. His team are coming in. Hazed is the first rank, Pita, and there are trades for both sides now. 2 versus 2. The bomb's down, facing short as well. He's got a shoulder picking. Now it's just down to Pita, and he has an AWP versus Cutler's CZ. So not an ideal situation.
Yeah, this is pretty rough indeed. Cutler is looking for a way to just get through his shop into position. But of course, the bomb needs to be planted by Pita. And oh, there it is, Cutler will lose the battle of patience. And that 16-6 looked rather awkward in the end there. Wow, that was I did not expect it to be so dominant.
I did.
Well, we have
Janko's in the building.
Janko in the building. What did you think of that?
That's what happens when NA teams play each other, actually make a correct prediction here and there. I mean, as we talked about in the EU games, when you win both pistols, like you're in a good spot to win the whole game pretty easily. Even though CLG came back in the first half after the initial deficit, that anti-eco round they lost when PTR, the Splyce PTR had the op. That pretty much crushed CLG. Gave a lot of momentum to Splyce. They pulled it all the way back to 10-5 in their favor. Then when they switched sides again, winning pistol. When you're up 13-6 on T side Mirage, you're gonna find a way to win those 3 rounds, especially against the team who just changed the player as well. And the only one who played well for CLG pretty much was Cutler. The rest of the team wasn't really there. So yeah, pretty straightforward game.
And I feel like that's the part you mentioned where you kind of break CLG is when you actually control their money to the point where JDM doesn't get an off, because it really feels like he's not existent on the server at all. And that's a massive issue. If you want to be a top NA team or just a top team in general, you can't really
There's a big difference between the two, of
yeah,
course.
well, yeah.
Indeed.
You know, we're starting out small, top NA. Anyone can do that.
Really small. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's what part-time goals, right? But you need to have an impact of some sort when you're not, you know, being able to go to your go-to weapon. You need to do something for your team. Otherwise, you know, you can't rely on always being in control money-wise, because that's not going to happen versus better teams or teams who are better on you on that certain map. Yeah. So I'm just really worried. I don't see what CLG can do to actually combat that unless JDM is just like forced into a room and just sat there playing pistol DM or something for 5 months.
I don't think they're in a good spot right now. I mean, literally because they changed the player because FNS left the team. On the other hand, the Splyce team, I followed them a bit for a while, and they seem like a really promising team to me. They seem as a team who really enjoys, the players enjoy playing with each other. The individual skill is there. Like, even though this was an easy game for them, you can still see that there are a lot of things they need to improve on, a lot of polish to be done there. But I would like for them to stay together as a team, and I feel that maybe, you know, in next year they can be one of the contenders in the NA scene, maybe even abroad. Yeah,
one of the things I really like is, and I always get that impression from watching Peter play. Like, he seems like an extremely keen player. And normally, if you say that someone's a keen player, that's at least in the UK CSS scene that was a bad thing. But what I mean by it is he's extremely eager to improve, and it seems like that kind of call it leadership or charisma or whatever you want to call it, or attitude in general, it really just spreads across the teams he's in.
It can
But
be a bit of a two-way street sometimes as well, though.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's also been some of the issues he's had rubbing against rubbing the wrong way with certain teams due to how potentially outspoken he is, not only in the positive ways but also negatively as well, expressing his disappointment. So that seems to be the contention with him.
That's fair, but if he surrounds himself with a bunch that are fairly new to competitive CS in terms of playing at this type of level and are still eager to learn, so he can kind of mold them, shape them, and teach them things, and they don't get broken down by the fact that they do mistakes because they're so eager to learn. That's an amazing environment to be in. So I think if those 5 have that kind of mentality and attitude going into it and actually enjoy playing with each other, they can go really far in terms of how much they can improve in a span of short time.
I like that, the right fit for the player. Yeah, I think that can work. I can see that working with Pita actually. He does seem like almost kind of a nurturing figure, that's for sure.
And he just wants to be better as a player, and that's really cool. A lot of times you see people who get to a certain level and they get complacent. They get very satisfied with the fact that, oh, I've made it to this point, so now I don't have to play the insane amount of hours I did previously because I've made it here, not understanding that, well, if you don't play those hours, you're not going to maintain this level or improve. So they fall off, and that's happening, time and time again with several players. So hopefully that's not going to happen. Hopefully they can play, an absolutely insane amount of CS and continue to improve.
Well, our next map is going to be Cobble, and that will be with you in just a few minutes. We'll go to a break, and we'll see you back here shortly for map 2.